Hey, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to BCB Live. Yep, Sir Rick, Drive Safe Dave. Producer's back from Florida. He got married this weekend in Florida. Congrats, producer. Big time wedding. How did day one go?
It was pretty interesting. I will say that much. We ended up in a Airbnb, right? But
this
not
is
your
before the wedding.
What was that?
This is before the wedding.
This is before the wedding. You know, we had our time before. Hey, it was a wedding, but we also used it as an excuse to go to Florida. You know, it was pretty much just like, oh yeah, hey, one of your friends is getting married in Florida. Might as well just go to the beach.
So how was the Airbnb experience?
You know, it's pretty nice. It was really comfortable. So basically, it was somebody's garden shed that they transformed into a cottage. Oh, it was wonderful. Slept on barrels of hay. It was great. No, but yeah. We were in a manger actually. Did you guys see the stars? No,
it's a snuggle.
But yeah, so we ended up in this cottage in these people's backyard. Pretty comfortable.
Before you referred to this as a shack.
Oh, it was
what you said.
Now that he's on air, it's
a cottage.
A cottage. You know?
Hey, okay.
Cottage.
In my defense, it was advertised. It was advertised as a quaint cottage. All right, quaint cottage.
Sounds hard. Well, that sounds warming.
Yeah, it was nice. It was comfortable. No complaint. Oh, I have pictures. I can show you after the show. Watch out.
Whoa, dude.
Hey.
What happens in Florida stays in Florida.
Exactly. Come see me after the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm good.
Hey, 33 days, is that right?
That is correct.
33 days of driving safe. Our streaks continue. Hey, we have the driver check coming up, DOT road check coming up. What we're doing out there on the road, we've got to continue going. We've got to continue our phase. We've got to continue our streaks. We have to continue our attitude about being the safest trucking company in America. Drive Safe, Dave.
We have an opportunity to change the industry today. And by just starting today and continuing to do it.
Just today.
Just today. That's all we
Don't worry about tomorrow yet.
No, Make sure that today you get out there, you do your pre-trips, you get ready, you get set. Check those permit books. Check your license. Check all it. Just get ready. It's going to start tomorrow. It'll probably start kicking off at midnight tonight, and then it'll run through Thursday. So you got to be ready. And they're going to be opening up those stations today. They're going to be turning on the lights. They're going to be, and while they're there, trust me, they're going to pull in a truck or two. So
a little practice.
Yeah, they're going to be doing some training today. They're going to be doing some out there trying to get those creepers rolling, get those greased creepers get going out there. So just be ready today. Be ready this week. And I think we're ready. I think we're prepared. Just make sure that before you hit the road that you do a good pre-trip across the board.
Yes, sir. And hey, producer, while you were sitting out there in Naples in the manger, if you were looking up in the stars and you saw something floating down, it was probably SpaceX making its landing in the Gulf.
You should have been able to see some of the reentry. You should absolutely.
Early this morning, splash
nice.
in the Gulf of Mexico.
We welcome you back to planet Earth.
Infrared cameras captured the rare nighttime water landing of the SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule. 4 astronauts were on board, ending their 166-day mission to the International Space Station. Recovery ships met them at sea. The crew undocked from their orbiting outpost late Saturday, hurtling through space for 6 hours at speeds of more than...
Wow, I mean, we saw the parachutes back in I Dream of Jeannie. You and I were talking about that.
It works.
What's this I Dream of Jeannie stuff? I mean, come on. This is 20. Can't we find anything else cooler than parachutes?
Why? If it's not broken, why fix it, right? If it's not broken, why fix it? I mean, you'd be... let's not. I mean, what are we going to do? We're just going to tell the whole 82nd Airborne, just don't use those anymore. All 16,000 men. Hey, guys, don't jump out the planes anymore.
You get jets now. You know, how much cooler would that be? And if you're down there, if you're jumping out of that airplane, though,
I still would want a parachute.
You're running. You're dropping your weapons and running if they're coming out in little jets.
Rocket Man. I think that's who sang that? Rocket Man.
That's
Elton John. Definitely Elton John. Yeah, Sir Elton.
Sir Elton, a fellow knight. Sir Elton and Sir Rick.
Yeah,
kind of one and the same, maybe.
Do you have a Dodgers
outfit?
Same
people, but okay, huh?
Said no Dodgers uniform. No Dodgers uniform.
No Dodgers uniform today. hey, some big news within the state of Texas, and I really just say it's big news across this country. Is the Texas House passed the vote? With really focused. Drive safe on those nuclear verdicts against the trucking company.
Yeah, kind of making the field even play creating a little bit more fairness inside the courtroom on what they can and can't do, setting up some new rules, especially when it comes to tort law in regards to trucking companies and these plaintiffs that come in and expect nuclear verdicts against trucking companies to try to make it a little bit more fair. It did pass the House. It has moved on to the Senate for approval. Once it does there, then it should go into a law shortly thereafter.
Got you. So it's a process first. The House did their part. Now it goes to the state, and then what? How long does that normally take?
It depends on the vote. I should say it probably will take maybe this week or maybe next week. But the real work was done in committee. That took a year. That took years to get through committee and then get out onto the House floor. And then once it does there, it has to be reaffirmed into the Senate. Yeah.
So I'm also reading here that the bill, if passed by the Senate in its current form, also includes a provision that would allow properly authenticated photographs or videos of a vehicle or object involved in a collision to be admitted into the evidence. So right now, it seems like judges in Texas actually have discretion on whether or not to allow photo or video evidence. So this would allow us, using our dash cams, to present this as evidence in a trial instead of it being deemed gruesome or unnecessary. And instead of leaving that up to discretion, we're actually giving them the evidence that they need to, shy away from these nuclear verdicts that we're seeing.
And I think a lot of that is applicable, and I think it wasn't just always just gruesome or what have you, but it was also, if something bad happened, you had a video and they did something wrong, and you could tell that it came across the highway and hit you. But that's not what the jury got to see. All they got to see was the result.
And as we said, the judge could allow certain information in or out. So now it's an equal playing field on that.
Correct.
And I'll tell you this: so inside of Texas today, there's no doubt that it affects us as trucking companies. We at BCB probably pay $1,400 more per unit than we would if we were insured if we were based out of Arkansas.
Right.
A different state. So you think about that with 300 trucks, that's $450,000 we pay extra because of what happens here in Texas.
Right. And
what happens in the court system.
Yeah, and people don't understand that each state has their own insurance board that's regulated within the state. So you have the state insurance board that mandates and runs the insurance within those states. So that's you can go to them actually, because I don't know that there's always a check and balances on the insurance company without that state board. So you got to make sure that you can go to them also for grievances and stuff. That's who you would go to if you had a grievance with the insurance companies.
So kind of in the, so now we're talking about Texas. Now let's go to the United States. Congress on the same thing is starting down the road of making the automatic braking system. We have that, right? Drive Safe?
We do.
Making it mandatory. What are your thoughts about that?
Man, I'm okay with any safety feature that you can add in, any safety feature that you can add to the truck. I think and also this only applies to new trucks. You don't have to go back and retrofit. So any of this only applies to new trucks, and I think it should be put in there. It's just, and once it's required by law, the price differential will go down dramatically because it's going to be put in every truck. So it won't make it's not a cost.
Let's face it, at the end of the day, most trucking companies of size that purchase these, and many companies are buying them like this anyway.
Yes.
If you believe about safety, if you believe that they work, and yes, we've had issues with them, right? I mean, we've had it where it sees things but it saves lives.
Right.
I know sometimes it's
annoying.
It's a computer, yeah.
The radio volume goes off. I mean, you're listening to your favorite song, and you get too close, and the volume goes off because it beeps. I mean, if that's the cost of saving a life, I'm okay with it.
Yes, and a lot of independent, the fight against this is the independent contractors and some owner-operators, they're saying, hey, it remains flawed. Why are we going to make it mandatory? Well, it's not just talking about the braking either. It's talking about the lane departure. And again, boy, there's just no reason but that you're to have technology come in and see things that you take too long to react. And we've seen it in videos when you are distracted and it has to work, because if it doesn't work, you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, it'll beep. It'll warn you. It'll give our trucks give a rumble strip where they beep. if you start the lane departure system. So it sends out a warning message, and we've seen many videos where guys are just looking at their phone or they're distracted, looking down, messing with something. We saw a video, not too long ago, where a guy was messing with a bag and then departed and left the road. And if he'd have had that technology in the truck, it would have warned him that he was leaving the road.
Yeah, and we saw Mr. Winsauer shot a video over as well. Nothing that a computer could have done or a human probably could have done at that. But, man, it showed a vehicle crossing over the highway, smashing into that tractor as well. I don't think that was going to work. Sometimes technology or no technology isn't going to help anything.
No,
that sucker came out of nowhere and just plowed into that truck. And that is crazy what happens on the road. And I'm saying for things like that, for the ambulances falling off the back of trailers, I mean, is that really ever going to happen? Well, yes, we saw it. When we see those things, we need help.
So, and I look at that and just think if you were a plaintiff attorney, if you could just show what was going on in the cab and not what showed on in the video out on the road, if you just showed, it looked like the driver didn't do what he was supposed to be doing. And if you just showed part of it because it was too gruesome, it looked absolutely like it would be the driver's fault because he wasn't paying attention. But if you look at the video of what happens out on the road, you can tell that comes all the way across the highway and comes head on into us by losing control of the vehicle.
Yeah, we've got to be able to use those videos. We've got to be able to use those in court. And I just think you've got to tell the whole story. You just can't tell one story. You can't just use what we've seen with the plaintiff side that says, well, you know what, drive safe, Dave, he shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough experience. If he would have just stopped miles and miles away, they wouldn't have hit him, even though and I'm thinking, well, he was there. He was safe. He's parked or whatever. And the fact that a car hits you, you can't use the fact that, well, maybe he shouldn't have been there. If he wouldn't have been there, they would have went into the grass and not hit him and wouldn't have passed.
They've used all kinds of excuses and stuff. I mean, just to say that, I mean, if you fall off a bridge and land on us, I mean, it's the same rule. I mean, it makes no sense. But still, and I think this is going to help. I don't think it's gone to where it needs to be. I think this is a first step into normalizing tort law. I still think tort law is out of control, but I think this is a first step in making sure that the industry is just not overwhelmed.
Yes, kudos to those folks at Texas Trucking Association pushing this kind of information to the trucking associations across America. Listen, we're part of them.
Right.
We've got to get our side out there. We've got to make things favorable for us and maybe just take away some of the disadvantages because it does cost us money.
Yeah, it costs everybody. It costs the industry money, costs us money. And you know what? It's just not fair and it's not right. And at some point, we've got to do what's fair and just, right? And that's what the court system is truly all about. It's about equity. And it right now, it is not equitable.
Yeah, so, hey, we got Buffalo Bob coming in just a couple of minutes. I know we have that phrase that pays drive safe. We gave away the big dollars last week.
We did.
$200 went out. Great job, and it starts over this week at $100.
It does.
Okay, $100 is where it starts at this week. Hey, drive safe. Had some tornadoes as well up in Mississippi that kind of popped out yesterday, right?
Yeah, we did. Some high winds. I think there was some damage done to some property and businesses. Thank God no one was injured.
Yep.
There's no reported injuries, no reported fatalities. However, there were heavy winds and sustained winds. They can make fences got blown down, trees got knocked over, and some houses got damaged, I believe.
Drive safe. Can you give us that phrase that pays?
When entering a work zone, lives are at stake. Slow down and give them a break.
One more time,
When
sir.
entering a work zone, lives are at stake. Slow down and give them a break.
All right, and drive safe, just so we can all get on the same page with you. What does that mean, or what should that mean to each and every one of us?
I'll tell you what it means to me is that when you enter into work zones, we've been talking about it for a while now, when you enter into work zones, there are a new set of challenges inside those work zones. They're different than the open road. There are people out, there are people working, there are people standing around, there are people doing what they have to do to improve the road or to make the road better. And in those instances, you need to just slow down, get the big picture, touch the brake, get ready to make sure you can and should be able to stop in those work zones in case something happens.
Whew, boy, you said it all right there, drive safe.
Did I?
You said it all, and great job on that. So prefer that, and
With that, a message from our sponsors.
All right. Well, good morning.
Welcome back, Bob. Welcome back, Buckle Up Bob. Of all the people in the building, I think I am one of the most happiest to see you, man. I truly am. very happy to have you back this week.
Well, I like to say it's good to be back, but this doesn't beat the ocean or
It
the
does
beach.
not beat
so,
the ocean,
So I
but-
can't really say that at all.
Were you at
honesty.
the ocean? I thought
I
you were.
was.
Oh, nice, good.
No, at the ocean, in the ocean every day.
But I'll tell you, it's glad to have you back. I'm ready for you to do your segment. I'm ready for you to do what needs to be done by you. I did my best to fill some of your shoes this week, last week. I'm ready to go back to doing what I was doing. I can tell you that.
Well, the most important thing is you kept them streaks going, Drive
We
Safe,
did.
Dave.
Well, I
Right?
didn't. The drivers did.
Drivers did, right. And great job, everybody. 33 and 19. So we are halfway to another, tying our record of 38 on the Get Out and Look. So let's break that record. That's an easy one to beat and just to never lose, right?
That's easy to beat.
But we are over that 30, over a month now without a preventable accident. Great job, everybody. And so it kind of leads into this week. What we're going to talk about is kind of what we do in orientation and everything, but we go over what we have labeled over the years of doing this and with our drivers' feedback of what they've shared with us, what we consider some of our top BCBs of safety and protecting life. Okay? And so the first one, you kind of alluded to today with the phrase that pays. You know, one of the things that says to me is like, work zones, highways, it doesn't matter. Speed is the critical factor. We have to just slow down, right? And we know for a fact that speed is the number one factor in all fatal accidents. So it's kind of like, you know, you always got to ask yourself why. If we know this as fact, then why wouldn't we drive 3 to 5 miles under the posted limit, right? Even in perfect weather, because we know speed kills, right? We know it's the number one factor. We know that if work zones, we have to slow down. Why not? And if you answer that honestly, if you can answer that why honestly all the time, you'll never come up with a good reason to be speeding, right?
Yeah, and I think, and one of the things that we talk about there, when you talk about speed and slowing down, that really is what you're talking about. It's just slowing down.
That's it.
And I'll tell you that anytime, to me, Bob, and I agree with you 100%, anytime you're faced with a moment of decision or inclement weather, or whether it's somebody on the road, or whether somebody's merging, or somebody's moving in, or somebody's making a decision, it's always a good idea just to start to slow down.
Absolutely.
And then make your decision, right?
Yep.
And then just get your foot off the gas and be prepared to stop, or be prepared. Just get it off for a second. You know what? Enter into those dangerous situations. Get it out of cruise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get it into a moment in which you can control your speed and just slow down. And I think that's really what we're talking about here in almost all of our videos, is just a moment to just pause, slow down, and be ready, right? That's what
absolutely. Be ready to stop. You're absolutely right. The speed is the speed that allows you to stop, right?
Right.
Because anything else can lead to other accidents.
Correct.
And yes, stopping, slamming on the brakes can lead to an accident too, but that's behind you. That is that guy's responsibility for the most part, not yours. You're responsible for the areas around you, and changing lanes, having to change lanes because you can't stop. That becomes your fault now, right? You're liable for all that. Where if somebody rear ends you, not a lot you can do about it, right? I mean, that is the one DOT reportable that is always the guy that hit you's fault if you're rear-ended. Right. So you really got to get in that habit of being prepared to stop. So again, great job, everybody. And again, we don't have a whole lot of weather. We have some storms that are going to really kick in. The weather's not, or the wind isn't too bad. As you can see, starting out, you know, we don't have a whole lot, just a few areas where it's brown, but just slow down, be smart about it. But as we go through the day, and about 10:30, we start getting some really strong pockets right here in North Carolina going to Charlotte, and they're going to increase. As you can see, we got that dark purple with the 48 mile an hour gusts, right? Again, this is Charlotte, North Carolina area. So you kind of see all that stretching out to Raleigh, pretty much the whole center part of the state, moving up into Virginia, some 40 mile an hour gusts as well. Thank you, sir. But again, this East Coast is going to see some, and you're going to see later when I do the thunderstorms, where that's going to be an area of concern today as well as Kansas City. So again, not much going on as far as the winds, but what we really got is this rain and thunder. So as you can see, right now it's really about Kansas City, right? We got a cell of just northwest of Kansas City, moving east, northeast. It's going to go up to Missouri. We have some storms here in Atlanta area, right? Stretching through into Alabama. So if you're in them areas, you're going to see some rain as well. But these red areas are the ones that watch them pop up. Here we start to see one pop up southern Kentucky, Atlanta. Them storms that are now, they're going to intensify, right? So it shows us that. Oops. And then again, just that cell that passes north of Kansas City. But then as we get into the afternoon, kind of see that whole Gulf Coast southern portion start to get thunderstorms right on up the East Coast, Pennsylvania. That whole eastern section, third of the country, is going to see some rain. But these thunderstorms that was in Kansas City, north Kansas City, moving to northern Missouri, Iowa City, and all the way up into Wisconsin, you can see 3 strong cells that are going to develop. And then about 8 p.m., you can see it moves into starts to move into the Chicago area. Again, it dies down a little bit on the east. And then when we get really close to midnight, you'll see Texas, Oklahoma, Dallas, about 8 p.m. tonight, it really fires up. But look at this. That whole strong system right there just really pops southern Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, right? And then tomorrow morning when you wake up, this is really kind of unusual, so I'll just show it. But I just thought it was weird that the line just stretches right along the state lines there, the northern boundaries from Memphis all across Mississippi, Alabama into Georgia, southern Tennessee. So you can see thunderstorms firing up anywhere along there. And then again, right here in the southern Kansas, northern Oklahoma area as well for tomorrow morning. We do have also, just as a reminder, kind of been watching the fires. There's not really nothing going on right now. The biggest one is down here at the very tip of Florida. It's 55% controlled, 5,200 acres. Not really around anywhere we go. And then Arizona has a couple. Again, they're all under control. There's one out just south of Kingman, 88% controlled, about 1,200 acres. And then a 400-acre fire just south of Flagstaff. Again, it's only 5% control, but not very big. But it's just a reminder, when you see smoke, don't drive into it, everybody, okay? It is that season. There are a lot of red flag areas out there, especially in the west, Albuquerque, western Texas, Arizona, Southern California. All are really dry right now. So again, the fire dangers are very real out there. So we're going to be watching them. It's starting that season. And we just want to remind everybody, don't drive into smoke. All right. Well, producer, do we have any callers this morning for me?
Yes, sir. We got Corey Baker. What do you got for us? We got Corey Baker, then Eric Souden. So, Corey,
Mr. Baker,
what do you got for us today, sir? All right, Eric Souden, what do you have for us, sir?
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back, Bob. We missed you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, I would like to know, did you get a heartbreak incident for me on Saturday afternoon? If you did, I'd like you to bring that up, please.
I did not look at it yet, so I do not know.
All right, then. So I just want to remind everybody just how dangerous Colorado 287 is. So I happen to be just south of Kit Carson, heading south, and 2 trucks. One was a MVT, Basila Valley Transport, decided that he was going to get into the right-hand lane to let another truck pass him. But rather than get off of his cruise control, he stayed on it. And this other truck, it's like he's in the left-hand lane, the passing lane. I'm on my lane, and I see what's happening. And I'm looking at where that passing lane is ending. And that MVT truck has not got off of his cruise control. He leaves the roadway at the end of the right-hand lane. He maintains control, but he jeopardized 3 drivers' lives, to include his own, by not getting out of the cruise control and letting this other truck pass him. That's the whole point of a passing lane. Get that slow truck into the right-hand lane, get out of the cruise control, and let the other trucks or other vehicles pass safely so that you don't exit the roadway. I have to see what was happening a half mile before I had to hard brake to avoid this, because even though I would not have been at fault, these 2 other trucks where they were at, I would have been involved in this, and we could have had, a fatality out here with 3 trucks tangling up. And I just want to remind everybody, 287 Colorado is not a driver-friendly road. Please be safe. Get off of the cruise control. If somebody, but for goodness sakes, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got to say.
Hey, great point, Eric. You know, and again, it comes to that speed. You know, we've seen where it wasn't our fault, a vehicle with a family in it spun out of control, ended up hitting us, but we had slowed our speed down to 2 to 3 miles an hour while they still weren't because they hit us spinning backwards. And it just shows that every 10 to 15 miles you can reduce, the odds of life saving goes way up. Not just minuscule, just an extra 10, 15. So great job at slamming on the brakes, because if something goes wrong, you increase the odds of people living versus dying, Eric. And yeah, you're absolutely right. We're seeing more and more on that 287 Colorado. Really shouldn't be using the cruise up there probably at all. But again, it's up to you, but it's got to know your equipment, know your limitations, and that cruise, it's becoming one of the most dangerous things on. I get it, and we need it, and I'm not saying ban them. I'm just saying know that hey, you can fall in love with that cruise control, and it can cause you some trouble.
Well, and you know, it's easy to, you can always resume cruise.
Yes.
I mean, there's a button for that.
Mm-hmm.
So just get out of it. Just get out of cruise. Just to, you know, and when somebody's passing you, get off speed. I mean, if you're going to allow somebody to pass, then allow them to pass and then move on. It's not complicated. It's pretty simple. And then when you get to the next pass point, you can allow the next person to pass. And you just got to be patient. But I think, to Eric's point, you just got to work together out there in tandem and make sure that and you just got to make sure that you get out of there, you get off the cruise, you touch the brakes, and you allow that, you know, get out of the cruise for just a minute. You can always resume it. I think, hey, great point, Eric.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. Anybody else, producer, in there? Nothing going on?
Not that I can immediately see.
All right. All right. Well, everybody, hey, great job at keeping the streaks alive.
You know, but real quick, just so you know, Bob, I think you might want to just mention really quick what happens starting tomorrow, tonight at midnight.
Great point. Drive safe, and I do have it on email, but the Blitz.
Right.
Many of you may have already started it, because typically they don't wait till tomorrow to start this thing.
No.
It started this weekend, I would bet money. So, hey, everybody, right, this is, again, we talked about it a lot previous weeks. This is an opportunity for us to shine as a company, really show what we're made of. Are we there? This is going to reflect on our culture. It's going to reflect a lot on our drivers. You know, are they all in with us, or are they not? Are they doing these good pre-trips? Are they refusing to take equipment onto the roadway that is not DOT compliant?
Yeah, and doing what you can to help us get it fixed. I mean, let's be honest. There's going to be times that you're at a pull point, right? Mm-hmm. You're at, you know, a light goes out, right? Or the brakes aren't working, and that could have happened anywhere, and that could have happened at any time. We just want to work together. We want to make sure that we work together. We want to make sure that we do that, but let's get prepared. And I don't mean just prepared the equipment. I mean the drivers need to be prepared themselves. They need to be well rested, right? They need to have a great attitude. They need to make sure that they understand this is part of the job.
Yes.
This is a big part of what it is we do. They're out there doing what I consider just another aspect of open road trucking. Mm-hmm. You're gonna see DOT officers. You're going to see them. You're going to see them regularly, and you're going to see them doing their job. This is just part of what it is you do. Yep. So there's no reason to get upset. There's no reason to hide. You don't need to go around a scale. You don't need to hide from them. You just need to make sure that when you do see them, that you have a great attitude and that you're genuinely prepared. And that means your stuff too, right? Mm-hmm. Not only the truck, but your stuff, your driver's license, your health card, your permit book, your truck, all the little things that you yourself are genuinely prepared to be out there and do what it takes to be ready for this Blitz. I'm excited. I think we're going to have some great clean inspections. Right? I think
historically we've done well.
Yeah, so I think we're going to do well. I think we're going to do what we need to do when we get out there on the road. So make sure everybody's prepared, right, Bob?
And our goal is 100% clean inspections.
All the time.
Always. All the time.
And it pays money.
It pays money.
That's what good clean inspections pays money to the driver, pays money to the owner-operator, pays money to where it needs to be recognized, right? To me, it's a recognition award for doing a good, outstanding job of making sure that your pre-trip is done. You know, when you do get stopped and you do get checked like that and you get a good clean inspection, it means you did what you needed to do, right, before you got out there on the road.
Absolutely. Correct. Been a while, and I still got that word in me.
That's okay. That's all right. But it is a chance where we can shine. And I know that it's going to start. I will tell you that you're going to pass scale houses today. They're going to be cleaning. They're going to be turning on the lights, turning the air conditioner on. They're going to be making sandwiches. They're going to be getting ready. They're going to be stocking the refrigerator because they're going to run around shifts, right? They're going to run them open. They're going to stay open all the way. So, yeah, what do you got there?
Who we got, producer? Cool dude.
What do you got for us, sir?
Hey guys, I just wanted also, I got DOT Friday and it was a level 2 and a 3, so I did okay. I passed, no problems or anything. But I just wanted to throw out to make sure you get that paperwork in from the DOT. So safety gets it quick. I think I did mine like 10 minutes after I got DOT. They had it, so. Just throwing that out there. You get paid quicker, and I can't remember what's a 2 pay, Bob.
I didn't hear
what
the
does
end
a
of
clean inspection pay, Bob?
It pays $50, I believe, to the drivers.
Okay, well, I just wanted to remind drivers to get it in as soon as possible. Don't hold it for a couple of days. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You are right.
Guys, that's all.
All right, Miss Donna.
All right, Donna, what do you got for us this morning?
Good morning, everybody. Hey, I just wanted to make a little suggestion. Instead, a lot of drivers, they feel like they're rushed, they're running late. Take a little extra time to check everything out. Just a few more minutes is not going to cost you anything. Just really take your time, look at everything really well, maybe look over it twice. Something you might have missed, especially when you're first starting your day, you're still a little tired, you're still waking up, drink some coffee and, take your time. Don't just do it right at 8 minutes, take your time, look at everything over, look it over again, and make sure all your equipment and everything is up to par.
Yeah.
Along with your paperwork.
Doing a great pre-trip, in good inspections, 20 minutes, right? If that. And it pays you $50, right? I don't know many jobs that pay $50 every 20 minutes, Dave.
Well,
I know besides yours.
Okay.
And also, this
Okay.
morning I was sitting at a little truck stop and getting my day going, and I noticed England pulled in. Well, they had a trainer with them, and it's kind of dark. He didn't have a flashlight or anything, and he was standing there talking to the driver. And so I walked up to him and I asked him. I said, do you guys not train anymore to turn your four-ways on while you're backing into a hole? And he said, oh, I forgot. Or, he said, I'm sorry. And, so I was watching him and drinking some coffee and trying to wake up. And the driver was almost straight into the hole. And then it was like either, and I don't know the situation, but it just seems like either the driver gave up or the trainer, because they both looked a little tired. But next thing I know, I see the trainer get in the driver's seat and just back into the hole. And I'm thinking, that's not going to, I was a little disappointed seeing that, because that's not going to teach him, teach a driver anything if the trainer just says, takes over and not let the driver finish out what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So I was a little disappointed. And, like I said, I don't know exactly the situation, but I just thought that was a little strange. But anyway, y'all have a good day. Be safe out there, and talk to you later. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Donna. So that's it, Mr. Producer?
Well, we actually had a question coming in from Mr. Justin Hayes. He was saying, if we are pulling another company's trailer, does that affect us? And also, does the registration have to be a hard copy, or can it be a picture on your phone?
We prefer the hard copy, but it can be a picture. They have accepted them. Again, you never want to leave it up to that officer. You really should get the hard copy. But if we're pulling another trailer, they are still running under our authority. So yes, you are going to be held accountable for that trailer.
Yeah, you want to make sure that and I do know, Justin, that what you're pulling, it should have been checked before you leave the station. They do a safety check on it when they leave the station, but that doesn't preclude your pre-trip as well. So you got to make sure that you pre-trip it, even though you go through the safety check before you leave.
Yeah. And always, if anybody's got any questions, if you take equipment on the highway, you're responsible for it.
Absolutely.
It's really that simple. So it doesn't matter whose it is or what. Once you take it on the highway, you are telling every law enforcement and every person that it is DOT compliant.
That is correct. All righty.
All right. It's that time for
HR.
Monday. And just want to start out by reminding everyone that this coming Sunday is Mother's Day. So here is your friendly reminder. If you have not bought gifts or made your plans, make sure you do that because Sunday will be here before you know it. And speaking of celebrations, today we have two birthdays. The first one is for Gerard Levasseur, and the other is for Ricardo Ellison. So happy birthday, guys. Hope you have a great day. Everyone, please continue to wear those masks. Again, one day we won't have to, but until then, please do. Use that antibacterial. Keep washing your hands. Stay safe and have a great day. Thank you.
All right, everybody. It is BCB Live, and as always on a Monday, it is Magic Matt in the building. We've got Magic Man Matt. I didn't mess that up today, did I?
Good job. There we go. We're starting off on the right foot today.
So I talked to you a little bit this weekend. I saw you up here a couple of times in the office this weekend. What all did you have going on? I knew you were up here. I knew you were working.
David Schumann, I was helping him with his desk project, so pretty intense. I've never said I was a plumber, but unfortunately after this weekend, I feel like I can do it now.
You've been turning some pipe, have you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So they did that. We did some stained some countertops, moved all the people to the back, got all our plexiglass put up. So
did some safety measures for people in the building
for the COVID. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Trying to
COVID
make it
precautions. Yes, sir.
COVID precautions for the people going on this weekend. What else did you have going on? Anything else?
I packed up the entire house this weekend.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
The entire house? You did it in one weekend?
I had some help, but yes.
Wow, that's pretty incredible.
So all I have left is the garage. So yeah, just a busy weekend, going all the time.
Oh wow, that is a lot. So when you say you packed it all,
I didn't pack anything up.
Okay,
I'm
sitting here wondering. I'm sitting here thinking.
Now I'm taking credit where I shouldn't take credit. I didn't pack anything, other than I just provided the trailer for it to go in or the direction on where to put it.
That's awesome.
That goes there. This goes there.
That's awesome. That's all right. Now that's a different story.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? It takes that managerial skill, right?
Exactly.
To be able to be the conductor of what's going on out there.
Yeah, I feel like if I wasn't there, we'd have had issues.
We have we've been talking, Matt, and I think it's really important. You drove.
Yes, sir.
And we've been talking about speed and spacing, and we've been talking about it to the drivers over a period of time now, and I think it's been applicable in almost all the videos that we see each and every day, right? Would you agree, Dylan? I mean, it pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Definitely, it's been definitely impactful on pretty much all the videos, especially as of late. It seems like a lot of the things that we're having to touch on are those speed and spacing tools that we talk about a lot. So I think it's important to kind of remember that, especially now during the Blitz. That is one of the topics that they're going to be focusing on, is that speeding and that unsafe driving. And a lot of that does have to do with your spacing. So it's something I think that we should always kind of touch base on and remind each other about.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for believe it or not, it's not uncommon for an officer to look at when you started somewhere and then look at where you're at and then divide that by the miles by and then come up with an average speed. And if it's above the speed limit,
he generally has something to say.
He definitely can write you a ticket. And I do know for a fact that out west on I-5, they'll take your photograph of your truck running to a scale house in California, and then as you roll north, they'll take your photograph and then they'll divide it. If it doesn't go below 55 miles an hour, you get they'll write you a ticket right then and there. So, there are ways in which they can react negatively to the way you keep your speed. And I do know that, and it's not just the speeding, right? It's
everything.
Yeah, it's the speed at which you're running and whatever it is you're doing. And I know you ran. I do know that you ran a lot of Arkansas, right up in the mountains. You did run into the Ozarks,
Arkansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. Mississippi.
Yeah, but you did that. To me, of all the challenges that you had, to me, the Ozarks have their own set of challenges because they're tight, windy. They're kind of tight and windy someplace.
I would run Highway 7 from Russellville all the way to Malvern.
I know that.
The scenic route.
The scenic, that windy, curvy, that snake turn.
I went down it probably 3 times a week, every week for about a year.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
So I like to do it at night because you could go faster, but I'm not supposed to say that. But you get that. I mean, you really felt. I mean, once you drove that so many times,
you felt like you knew it.
Yeah, it's just a neat road to drive. I mean, it was a good time.
The scenic route.
Yes.
And and as we talk about it, we see the videos and we've seen people approaching like today. That area that's in front of you, directly in front of the vehicle, that's what we can control with our speed.
Yes.
I mean, that's the stopping point. That's the place. Ever any close calls stopping?
I think I've told you the story before, but I was in West Texas, just got loaded in mule shoe with a load of corn flour, whole trailer load. It took me about 30 minutes to get to 65 miles an hour. And I had a chew tobacco, so I was going down the highway, and I packed my snuff can, and it shot all the way across to the other side, and it landed right in the window of the bottom window. I'm thinking, holy crap, how am I going to get this thing now? I'm looking up, I'm 84. There's nobody in front of me. There's nobody anywhere. So I thought, I'm just going to slow down, and I'm going to lean down, I'm going to pick this can up and lean back up. And I no more leaned down. And when I got up, there was a state trooper 5 feet in front of me, going about 20 miles an hour. Okay? So if he wouldn't have seen me, I would have rear-ended him at 65 on the interstate.
Oh, my gosh.
And so he hits he kind of reminds you of the Dukes. He hits the ditch, he bounces through there. And I'm watching it in the rearview mirror as I go by. I think, oh my gosh, I'm going to jail. This is not going to be good.
This is not going to be pretty.
How am I going to even explain this?
I'm hoping his truck car is disabled.
Yeah. And I imagine it didn't happen. I imagine the truck opening. When he went through the ditch, the truck comes open. The lights instantly come on. Here he comes.
Oh, no.
Now, he doesn't pull me over. I went ahead and started pulling over. I knew what was fixing to happen. So when he comes around, he just slides in front of me sideways and does this.
I said, come here.
Yeah,
I'm not even
getting
coming.
I'm not getting out.
It's time, yeah, you might be going to jail right here.
So I get out, I walk up there, and I look at him, and as I get close, I said, are you okay? He said, yes. Are you okay? I said, yes. He said, what are you doing almost rear-ending me on the highway? And I had asked him, I said, well, I dropped my snuff can and I went to pick it up. I looked. There was nothing in front of me. It was going to take me all about 2 seconds. And when I get back to look up, I see you going 20 miles an hour on the interstate right in front of me. And you know what? He said, you know, when I hit that ditch back there, you were going to jail. You were going to jail. You were not leaving. They were towing this thing wherever it was going. You were going to jail. I was going to write you every ticket I could imagine. He said, I would have had rider's cramp before we'd have left. But then he said, it's probably my fault. I shouldn't have been on the highway looking at my paperwork while I was driving.
Both of y'all were distracted.
Right.
Both of y'all.
Yeah. So, and you know what? Long story short, he just said, hey, be careful. And you've learned a lesson. I've learned a lesson. Always buy 2 cans of snuff and never look at your paperwork while you're driving down the road. I said, I'll agree with you. But no, as far as close calls, that was probably one of the ones that stuck out in my mind. But I always, I think drivers, sometimes you have so many thoughts going on. And with this culture here, it's neat because this puts the thought in your mind all the time. When we drove, we didn't have this.
No.
This wasn't a thought we had every day. This wasn't something that was available to us.
We knew the rules of the road, but the focus was and I'll tell you when I drove 90s and stuff like that. It was more, and I'm just going to be flat honest with you. It was more about being on time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the focus, and now the pendulum has swung the other direction, and thank God it swung the right way, and now it has become a great passion of not only this company but of mine as well, and to make sure that we're talking about being safe and doing what's right out there on the road, and we have that to lay on and to rely on for us, because that right there could have been changed your life forever. I mean, because there's no telling. A big truck coming in at 20 miles, 45 miles an hour, a lot quicker. It could have been a whole different story, right? So,
but I mean, those, and like I said, I think it's neat. We drove back then and we didn't have that, but this here is more of this puts it up fresh every day. This makes you think. It makes me think about it today.
Oh yeah,
driving my own vehicle every day. I think about it.
Right. And me in here doing it every single day, it really puts a shine on walking out there and talking and being a part not only of this program but of the BCBs of trucking. It's given me an opportunity to share those outside of BCB. It's given me a chance to go forth and to talk about it. I know. Do you remember when we went with Volvo that one time, and there were a lot of other people from different businesses, and we went and we were sitting there, and boy, I was hammering them on safety. I mean, I was going after them on safety, on what it really means and what it really means to not only to the, we had guys in there from other companies,
right?
And I was making it, we're not just talking about safety. It's got to come from the top. It's got to come from the bottom. It's got to come from the middle. It's got to all be on the same page. You can't just have the safety guy waving his flag and then expect everybody else to salute it if they don't believe in it, right? And it doesn't work that way. So yeah, it's a great deal. But I'll tell you, when I look at it, and I've been watching it, and I've been watching it even more on the road, watching other vehicles, watching cars, watching trucks out there on the highway, and I am not getting up on anybody anymore.
No, I don't either.
I don't get up on them anymore. I move over on the right lane, even after I pass. I'm not doing it anymore, and it's not worth it. And if we're going to talk about it here, we're going to do it out there on the road.
That was last week, and my nephew did make a comment like, you should drive this boat a lot slower than you ever used to. Meaning on the road,
Yeah, oh yeah.
Speed limit 70, I'll go 65, 63. And just get in the slow lane. There's no reason. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere.
We're going to the lake.
Exactly. Or we're going home. We're already done fishing. Why go fast? We're going to be there 8 minutes quicker.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It isn't worth it. And it's not worth what we got going on out there. We have a chance, Matt, when you're out there with brokerage and you're talking with these guys, I hear y'all now talk about being safe. I hear y'all talking the talk out there, not only with our guys, but with everybody y'all come into contact with. It's pretty neat stuff.
But and that's what I'm saying. It's just like you said. If Bob's waving the safety flag, it's not going to work unless we all are a part of it and all believe the same thing. And that's what it's neat getting to talk to those guys, because those guys that we talk to, the majority of them, we talk to them quite a bit.
Right.
They're repeat guys we use on the brokerage side, and they get to hear a part of it too. They get that, hey, have a safe day, be careful out there. Hey, Blitz is this week. That's what we were telling them last week. Remember, Blitz is next week. We'll be running. We'll have the same freight. Make sure your stuff's ready in order so you can keep running. So yeah, it's a blessing to be able to get to those outside guys as well and let them have a little part of the safety culture we have here.
Yeah, and share the message with them too, because it is an industry thing. It's not just a BCB thing. Mm-hmm. It's an industry-wide thing, and I'm encouraged by the fact that you have the opportunity to share it with so many more people. Your guys have the opportunity to share the ideas and the beliefs that we have here with so many more people outside of just the BCB. And I want everybody to know that is y'all's opportunity. Mm-hmm. That's where y'all are starting to make a difference by talking to those guys that don't carry our flag on the side of the truck, but they do carry our freight. And when they touch our freight, they touch, y'all get an opportunity to communicate with them, talk to them, and bring them into the fold and give them a moment to think about what we're doing here.
Right. No, it's a neat thing. I think BCB is a great place to be, a great place to work, and a great place for outside guys to contract with through our brokerage side. So I like to tell everybody about BCB and who we are.
Yeah, I started sharing some of the videos online on the YouTube, man. It'd be nice if we could get some of those guys to watch some of the YouTube videos.
Yeah, I'll start letting them know. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and give them the link and let them know to pull it up on the YouTube video. And then that way they can have an opportunity not only to see what it is we do here and get in the BCBs of trucking, but it gives y'all. I think y'all reach out and touch a lot more people than y'all can possibly imagine. Not only are we talking to our drivers, but y'all are reaching out and talking to another 350 guys, 400 guys.
Well, last week we did roughly about 600. Last week 600 shipments, so 600 guys.
Yeah.
So yes, we've talked to a lot of people.
Yeah. So you
all over the country.
So yeah, I think so. I think that gives us an agreement. Anybody here want to give a shout out to Matt or what his team does? Please raise your hand or jump on in and say hi. But when you get a chance, just make sure you do. What do you got, Dylan?
Yeah, we got Jeff Marsh here. Jeff Marsh, what do you got for us today?
Hey, Matt, what's going on, buddy?
How are you, sir?
Just fine. I was going to let y'all know, if y'all do watch the YouTube, the shows and everything, when Dylan puts these together, he blinds through the safety part. So all you're going to see is what we see in the morning, with Sir Rick and then you'll start to see Bob, and then it'll blank over to Christy. So if she's on there and everything, so he does kind of cut out the safety part of the videos on YouTube. So I just love to let y'all know that, so they won't. So if somebody new was watching it, they won't go, well, y'all don't do anything about safety. I mean, it does kind of blanket through the safety part.
So Jeff, what's happening there is we cut out the driver videos that happen to protect the privacy and the safety of our drivers. We don't want to show those videos out in public just for the sake of protecting the people who are sending those in. So that's what we blank out there. We try and keep as much safety in there as we possibly can. We just don't want to put those videos in there in the event that, if we do get taken to court for something, we don't want to put these videos up and then be like, well, look, here, you guys are showing a bunch of unsafe videos, this and that. And also to, again, protect our drivers in that.
I understand that. I just want them to know that it will blank it out. That way somebody who don't know our show and everything, that, I mean, they may see that, I don't know, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows if somebody new is watching it, that I mean, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I get it, Jeff, and we understand. We just want to make sure that we protect you and every driver out there going forward. Once you put it out there, it's out there forever. And we don't want that to be out there forever. And we just want to make sure that each and every one of you is protected when it comes to the videos. We don't want it to come back on you further down the road, even in 2 years from now or 3 years from now. Because once you do it, it's right, Dylan. Once you put it out there, it's out there for absolutely ever and ever and ever. There's no take backs, right? There's no bring it back. There's no once you do it, once you air any dirty laundry, it just looks like all you have is dirty laundry, right? And if all that's out there, even if it's one or two sheets on the line that's dirty, everything on the line looks dirty, right? Everything out there looks like it's not clean at all. So you got to make sure that you keep in mind what the aspect is and what we're doing here. I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to. You got anybody else, Dylan? Before I go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and what do you got?
We got Lonnie Payne. What do you got for us real quick, Lonnie?
Good morning, gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Matt, I just wanted to say thank you, buddy, for stepping up yesterday, taking my pal Larry to the hospital, and thanks for all you do for us.
Yes,
man.
sir.
I mean, that just showed commitment. A lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, and not just the job you do over there on your side, but how committed you are to really stepping up and helping and supporting the drivers and doing whatever it takes for them. And I know, you're good friends with a whole bunch of us. And, I just wanted to tell you from my heart to yours, man, thank you yesterday for stepping up and helping Larry. And really appreciate that, brother. Appreciate
Yes,
all
sir.
you do. And love y'all. Hashtag family.
Love you too, buddy.
I appreciate it. All right, good stuff. Hey, you know, that's what family does, right?
That's
I mean,
what we do.
it's what we do. I mean,
It's not out of the blue. It's what you do.
Yeah, it's not a hard call, Lonnie, and I think each of us and every one of us believe that. I'm going to go ahead and say a quick prayer and get us out of here. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. We come before you today to ask that you be with us today in whatever it is we do. For we want very much to do your will upon the world as you see it, as you deem it, and as you need it to be done. Father, give us the ability today to go out and help somebody, be somebody special for somebody, and to make somebody's life a little bit better. Father, also give our drivers the ability to do well out there on the road. Make sure you watch over them. Do what you can. Place your hand on their wheel. Place your hand on their steering wheel and guide them and protect them today out there each and every day. Watch over them and keep them safe, and keep all those that they come around and are next to and are near safe as well. Father, we also ask that you help us here at BCB to watch out for them in our ways and whatever it is we do, when we plan them, when we communicate with them, that we hear what they're saying and that we know what they need. Father, give us that courage and that ability to do what's right today, even though it may be a difficult decision placed upon us. Father, also watch out for our brethren that are either sick and or need your comfort and your love today. Lift them up and be with them and give them what they need to move on. Father, thank you so much for all that you do, and we pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, everybody. Hey, listen, it is Monday. We start the Blitz tomorrow. Be safe, be kind, be considerate, and let's be careful out there. Goodbye, everybody.